Well, hello there, everybody. If you are on, go ahead and say hello. I'm just going to double check that I made it live on my group over here. I know a lot of people are at work right now, so I'm probably not going to wait too long for people to have on, but if you are on, go ahead and say hello. That way I know you can see me. It looks like I am on, so we're good. Kind of watching myself in my computer to make sure I actually went live and that you can see my mat okay. So it's kind of funny, I say this every week, I go to set up my space for this, and the screen on my tablet above me here looks completely different than my screen on my computer that you are seeing, so I always double check and make sure everything's on the screen. Like it's super zoomed in on my tablet, but it's okay because it looks like you can see me fine. So if you're on, go ahead and say hello. If you're watching this later in the replay, make sure you comment replay. That way I know that you watched it and you're able to. If you're unfamiliar, every Wednesday morning I hop on live for our challenge hour live. I post a challenge each week in my Ashley Scrappy VIP group. And in that group, it's kind of a closed group, so I monitor who gets into it, but if you want to request to join, the link is in the description of this live, and I will, check you out and make sure you're legit, that you're not a spammer, and every week, every Friday morning, I post a new challenge, and it's usually a sketch from Creative Memories blog. Right now, I'm working my way through this September worldwide virtual crop. I didn't get to that virtual crop at all, so that's kind of been my challenges lately. So we'll be walking through that together. But yeah, definitely request to join that group so you have a chance to win prizes each week. If you post a picture of your completed challenge page in the comments of that challenge post, I will throw you in a drawing on Friday morning and see who wins a little prize from me. So it's usually a cute little pack of embellishments or stickers or something like that. So it's a lot of fun and it's a great motivator to get pages done. And so now I jump on Wednesday mornings, the following Wednesday, to walk through our challenges so you can see kind of what I'm doing and how to do it if you're stumped or whatever. So while I wait for more people to hop on, a few events I have coming up. This is an older card, so you can ignore the top part of this. I have a Scrap Together live. I do that monthly on Wednesday nights on October 16th. That's our next one, where I walk through kind of a bigger project. So it might be like a project recipe. I'm thinking of maybe doing the Christmas cards in October, so you can see those. So I will post what I'm doing in October. That way, if you want to get like whatever I'm working on together, so you can follow along, great. If you're just going to do your own thing while I work, great. It's just a time we all get together and scrapbook and do a bigger project together. So that will be Wednesday, October 16th. You can watch it live right where you are right now, whether it's on my VIP, Ashley Scrappy VIPs, or my Ashley Really Creative Memories Advisor page. It's just a fun time to get together. That will be 7 p.m. October 16th. And then I just posted this the other day. I'm doing a Dear Widows weekend. It's a no frills crop weekend. So it's cheaper. It's like $10 just to cover my space rental and work that goes into that. And no frills means I don't do food. So you just have to plan, bring a lunch on Saturday, but I'm running it from, I put 5 p.m. on here. I'll change that. Friday from 5 to 10. At Mason County Reformed Church, and then that's 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And again, $10 will cover your costs. Bring a lunch or plan to go out on Saturday. I will have some snacks there, but not a ton. You can bring a snack to share if you would like. Otherwise, it's totally laid back. Just a time and space to come together and scrap or craft or whatever. And make sure you sign up on the registration form. Do not mark just going or interested on my event, because I don't really go by those anymore because there's just been so much back and forthness with that. So there's a registration link in the event group, so make sure you fill that out and then send payment. That way I know you're coming. And in November, I have my Scrap Together live. We already talked about that in October. And I'm going to do a virtual open house, probably my VIP group. That's only going to be for my VIPs because I offer tons of deals and ideas and Christmas ideas and things like that. So make sure you request to join my VIP group. That way you get access to that. And then I am looking at doing Scrappy Winter Camp. So I do a Scrappy Summer Camp every summer. And those of you who have heard this spiel over and over again, bless you. I just like to go over my events every single time I'm online. I do 10 weeks of challenges. There's usually 3 challenges in a week, so you get 30 challenges. So it's super fun. It's a lot of motivating. There's prizes, all kinds of stuff. So this is going to be a simplified version of that, just to give you something to do this winter, January 3rd through March 9. And you'll be able to participate in that. So it's all virtual too. So if you're not in the area, you don't have to be. You can do it all right on Facebook. So that's my events coming up. If you're on again, say hello. Oh, hi, Angie. Love your put. Yep. I love those magic shots. Angie's referring to my picture here. She loves this picture. And we went to Disney, obviously, and the photographers around, I always get the photo pass because I'm a scrapbooker and I'm a mom, so I'm never in pictures. But they add these little magic shots, so it's pretty cool. We didn't know what they were going to put on there. They're like, just act surprised. And so we went back on our phone later and there he was. So pretty cool. So that's what I'm scrapping today. I'm working on Finding Nemo in the aquarium. And this is kind of my pop picture because a lot of these are very blue. So I threw that picture in to give it a little more color. So I'm going to be using the Serene Waters Collection. That is an older collection. I think it is out of stock now. There is like vellum still available. And then I'm hoping to also use, we're going to see where it goes, the Friendly Fish border punch. And this is still available. I did check before I hopped on here. And I'm using this more and more. I'm getting more creative with it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't use fish. But I've actually used it for quite a few things. I did a layout of us eating fish and chips in England, and I used this just last week. So I'm finding more ways to use it, and my husband and I go fishing a lot. We've been to aquariums. It's really great. And I'm like, hey, use it for the Nemo ride. So it's perfect. So I'm going to be using that. And then I also picked out some embellishments to use. I kind of sorted through them last night, so I wasn't sorting through them all in front of you. And this is a little book you get at the little aquarium there. It's just a fun little hide and seek book where kids can go through and there's stickers in it. I grabbed one of those because, you know, I'm a scrapbooker and I have a little peekaboo packet I'm going to slide that into. So we'll be playing with that too today. So that is what I'm working with today. So here is our sketch that I will be using. If you are looking for directions and you want to see the sketch in the original CM blog post, sorry if you can see through that, I use scrap paper to print on. Go back to my Ashley Scrappy VIP page in the featured. I have the link up there now. I saw I had last week's stuff. I did fix it. So if you want to get the link to this, go ahead and go to there and, you know, open a new tab or whatever and go download it, or you can do that later. So there is a download button all within the blog, which is awesome, so you can print your own stuff. This one I just copied and pasted onto a Word document and printed it. So we'll be working with that. So without further ado, let's get going. I'm going to kind of make some room here. I do love this little embellishment tray. I'm using it for lots and lots of things. So that one is another one that sold out really fast twice on the Advisor exclusive. So maybe they'll bring it back. Hopefully they will, because a lot of people love it. So I am using this cool little fish paper for my base. I'll set this up here for now. And then I have some various sheets here I'll be cutting from. And right now I'm just kind of using up my stash. So it's kind of cool when you can go back and say, oh, I have this paper from last year. It's going to work great with this. Actually, I think Serene Waters might be 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember. But this was one of my most favorite collections with Serene Waters. So before it went out, I bought a ton. And I'm slowly working my way through it. So I'll be using these little sheets here to cut my various pieces. And then you already saw my picture. So you can see we're doing a 2-page spread. We have some strips here we're going to cut. We have like these 9.5 by 6, another 6 by 9.5, and then we're going to do our photos in matte as we go. So kind of winging it, but I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing. If you guys know me, you know I like to wing it. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to start with these 9.5 by 6 pieces. So I'm doing one side in orange, this orange sheet, and that's going to go over here. And I'm doing this green wavy sheet for over here. So it's kind of funny because I always know what I'm going to do in my head, and then I go to do it and I'm like, oh, that didn't really look the way I thought it was going to, but that's okay. I like to tell people there is no wrong way to scrapbook. So whatever it ends up being, great. It's going to be a page done or 2 pages done. So you'll need your trimmer. Hopefully you got the good one. Just going to check my comments one more time. Looks like I got Angie on. Cool. All right. So our first cut, I'm going to do this side over here. I like to work backwards. I don't know why. I just always start over here and work this way, which is kind of funny because you read the other way, but whatever. We're going to cut 6 by 9.5. So what I'm going to do first is, I guess it doesn't really matter. You want to make sure your paper is the direction you want it. You know, you're going to use one side, so you don't have to worry about the other side. I'm probably just going to cut 6 because then I'll have another chunk. That's a big 6-inch chunk for another project, another day, or if I want to mat with it later. And a 9.5. So this is going to be my longer piece that kind of stands up over here. If you can see that okay. Yeah, get closer, but so 9.5. I almost did 9. I'm not a math girl. What can I say? All right, got a scrap for later. So this is going to go over here. And then I'm going to do my other piece that's going to go over here. And this one's like the same size but turned. So it's really a 9.5 by 6. This one has waves on it, so I do want to pay attention which way I'm cutting it. And this is where my non-math brain goes, which way is a 9.5? Oh yeah, it's this way. So I want to make sure I cut the 9.5 probably first. That way I know it's going the right direction, and then I'm going to do 6 probably. It's just the way my brain works. However it works for you, that's okay. You do it the way you need to do it. So 9.5. Got that piece for later. And then I'm going to go to the 6. Like so. And it looks so small after you cut it, like based on the sketch, but it's right, it's fine. So, and these two pieces are going to be exactly the same size. So if you mess up on one, you have another one. It's fine. Or you can, you know, mat with it later. Alright, so that's going to go there. And next I'm going to do these strips where my borders are going to go. I don't think I told you what I'm using for my borders. So these are not from Serene Waters. They're actually from the Puerto Vallarta bundle I got. I have these cute little starfish, and one side's blue, more of a blue and green tint, and the other side's orange and yellows. I'm going to be using those for my borders, probably the orange and yellow side, just to coordinate well with that paper. So that's what I'm going to use for my borders. And then my friendly fish, I'm going to put some fish up in the corner here. If you saw the original layout someone made for the virtual crop, they had banners from the Garland Banner Punch, which is also very cool and very versatile. I'm going to try to do fish though, because I thought that'd be kind of fun if fish were, you know, swimming across the corner there. So that's what I'm going to do. But for these strips that my borders are going to go on, I'm going to use this water looking paper. There's also this side which I debated punching starfish out on, but then I saw I had those embellishment borders, so I decided to just run with this as my strips. So those are 12 by 2.5. So I just want to make sure I save the back the way I want to save it. I think I want it to go that way. So 2.5, it's already 12, so you're good there. Line it up. I always double check 2.5, 2.5. And I'm going to need 2 of those because you need one for each side. So another 2.5. Alright, and you can set that aside to mat with or use later. Alright, so for now that's all the cutting I'm going to do. I'll probably do more when I go to mats my photos, but we'll see where we go. Just going to double check comments, make sure there's no questions or anything. Looks like you guys are good. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of piece this together a little bit. If you can see, the photos are all pretty much on top of all the pieces. There's like the border that kind of runs on top. So we'll go ahead and kind of lay this down. I'm probably going to start with my strips. Actually, this piece right here might go underneath. Let's see. Or it might just rest on top. I think it kind of tucks underneath. I think I will tuck it underneath a little bit. So you're going to want to decide kind of how far you want your edges to show. And again, I use my mats to line things up because I cannot line things up with my naked eye. I am terrible at that. I cannot hang pictures. I cannot hang anything on my walls. And if you came to my house, you'd see many things are crooked, and it's fine because I live here and I don't care. So let's see. So I'm going to kind of set these on my mats evenly just so it's within the square. And I am, like, I see like the strip starts at 3. So over here, I'm going to try to start it at 3. Just kind of how I line things up. And I think this one kind of butts up against it. I don't think that one goes under it much. according to this sketch. If I'm looking over here, it looks like you have a nice big wide open space, so that's probably how I'm going to leave it. I could shift things up a little bit if I really wanted to, maybe up to like the 3.5 and 9.5, or I guess it's 8.5 and 4.5, 3.5 and 8.5. And I always like to just lay things out and make sure I like the look of it before I stick things down. So this one I'm going to follow suit. Okay. And this will just be kind of tucked under whatever you don't want showing. So you can have a really narrow edge or whatever. I'm looking at that. I think I like that okay. And like I said, we'll throw our pictures on. And sometimes I'll even just take my pictures and lay them on here just to make sure I like the look of it. So on here you're going to notice the picture sizes are 4x6 and 6x4. I only have one picture in a stack that is a 6x4 because all my pictures I print usually a true digital size, just because I hate when things get cut off. However, the PhotoPass photographers all have the nice, you know, digital cameras. So those are made to be 4x6 or 6x4. So I have one, you know, that is that size, which I'll probably stick over here. And then I have others that are much smaller. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't want to trim this one down. I'm probably going to take, you know, one of these other ones and I'm going to mat it bigger is what I'm thinking. But we'll see when I get there. I don't really mind if it's not, you know, lined up properly. Like if they're different sizes, I don't really care. And one of these I'm going to trim down to that 3x4. And I'm probably going to put these two over here. So I like to just kind of look and see, but again, see these are much smaller than the sketch. So they kind of overlap down here more. I'm probably just going to overlap them a little so I can fill this space. The other thing I could do is tuck this down a little more so I have less space to work with. And that's kind of my trick for using smaller photos. So if you're looking at mine and you're going, my pictures don't look like yours, size-wise, that's okay. That's me. It's not you. It's me. So I just print them smaller so I don't have to cut things off. So certain cameras work different ways, so it just depends on your camera how you want to print them. I just come to find that I love the true digital size, which is like a 4x5.5. It's like a weird size. It's like 5.7 or something weird like that. So it's not even totally on par, but as you can see, they are significantly smaller than this one. So I mean, you're losing a good, my goodness, yeah, I mean, you're losing a good 3/4 inch there. So it's even smaller than that than I thought. But I find that less gets cut off that way with my phone. So I do the true digital just because when I do this, more on the edges get cut off and people's faces and, you know, Mickey ears or whatever. These, it wouldn't have mattered as much, but I just did them all that size except for the PhotoPass one. So that's my explanation for my different photo sizes. In case you're wondering, like, why the heck do your photos look like that? So mine is going to look a little different. So don't panic if yours does too. So I think I like how that looks. I like kind of how this has a green tone going on. This has an orange. And then of course we're going to add those borders to kind of bring it all together. And I'm going to have to decide how I want those to lay too. So I think that's fine. I don't really mind that. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So I'm probably going to start gluing things down. In terms of matting, I'm not sure. I do have some other colors here too. I could matte on, like obviously I'm not going to put that green on there, but I have some other colors I can work with, or I could just do white, or I could just not matte. So this one I'm going to matte for sure. I just have to check out what I have going on here. So I think I'll at least glue down the papers first. I'm going to put these kind of in order the way I have them. And then I'm going to stick Dory, this little booklet, like right here, on my page protector. You don't stick this on your page when you have a peekaboo packet. You stick it on your page protector. So that way you can pull it out and look at it and all that stuff too. And I do sell brochure pockets now that are probably this right size. I've always liked the overhang of a little peekaboo packet because you can pull it out so much easier. I did this with my last Disney book too. So that's why I'm using such a small peekaboo packet for that. I actually did that intentionally. So yeah, but they sell all different sizes though, so you can see what works for you. So, all right, I'm gonna set my borders aside. Check my comments one more time. Looks like we're good, unless they're not updating. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky because this was overlapped, but I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of, I like to flip my paper over kind of in the same place it was. Like I said, I work backwards for some reason, I don't know why. Just what I've always kind of done, so. Like I said, no wrong way to scrapbook, right? I say that every time. Alright. I do love this paper. I'm obsessed with this collection, so before it went out, I did buy a lot of it. I think I said the 3.5 is where I was kind of settling there. Alright. Don't want to shift too much because I know the camera's very in tune. So, yeah, I think I'll just do my strip and then butt that up against. Sometimes with the newer tape runners, I just replace this one. The tape runner likes to keep going after you're like, no, I don't want any more. Just turn your wrist and it'll break off. So they're supposed to be segmented. The newer they are, the harder they are to break off sometimes. So, but I learned just turn your wrist and they will break off. So I gotta make sure I'm even here. Let's see. Good for me. Okay. So these little orange fish always reminded me of goldfish when I saw them. I was like, oh, I should make a goldfish page, but unfortunately Lucy's kind of grown out of the goldfish. She still eats them, but she's not the age where I'd like take a picture of her eating them. Maybe when she was a toddler or something, now that'd be kind of weird, but sometimes you just want to take a picture of something because you have paper to match it, right? Like, fellow scrapbookers, you know this. Okay. So now I gotta decide what I'm doing with my pictures. Do I mat them? I always have trouble like knowing if I should mat pictures. Because I look at them like, oh, it looks fine, you know, but I'm also so laid back when it comes to things that I'm like, I don't need to mat it. I think it's great, you know. But other people are like, oh, girl, you need to mat. So you can tell me if you're on and you want to tell me quick, should I mat? I think I'm definitely going to cut and mat this one. But these are almost like already little mats. So let me play around here a little bit. I don't know if I like that color. I'm going to go white if I do mat. Again, color coordination's also not my thing. So you're probably like, how the heck did you get into scrapbooking? Well, I do my scrapbooks my way, so that's usually how that works. But yeah, I don't know. Just mat the one. I agree the background looks like, yes, okay. So Angie concurs, and Angie's very good at scrapbooking. She's like a pro. So I take her advice. That's kind of what I was thinking too, Ange. So I think I will cut this one down, just mat that one. Probably one of these greens. I think I'll do it as that way it kind of all ties together. Or I could use, you know, little waves on that side. So we'll see once we cut it down. So I got my handy dandy photo trimmer. Love this thing. So we are going to cut our photo down to 3 by 4. And again, you can cut it down however you want. There's a lot of room there to fit. Just make sure your mat follows suit if you are matting. So if we're doing 3, I like to kind of look and see what that's going to cut off. So I think that's fine right there, honestly. It's just dark over here anyway. Okay, and what I'm telling people with this new trimmer, sometimes your photos slide and then they don't get a good cut. That's because I'm in the habit of holding here. You should be holding right on this plastic grid part. That will keep your photo in place much better, keep it from sliding, and it gives it a little more support as it's cutting. That way you get a cleaner cut. I know a lot of people are having issues with that. And the more I've played with it, the more I've figured out that's probably why there's an issue. So now we want to do 4 inches this way. I'm just trying to decide. I think that's fine. We don't need, a kid doesn't need legs, right? Kind of funny when you're cropping photos, you're like, I'm cutting my kid's legs off. But, and my worst habit is I leave this up when I'm doing other things and then I bump it and cut myself. So make sure you're shutting that. Do not follow my lead on that. I'm so used to the old one, and that one was so much duller because I used it so much, and I didn't realize how dull it was getting. And then when I got this new one, super sharp. So just be careful if you have new trimmer. It's sharp because it's new. Is that a 3x4? I don't really. It just looks so funny to me. Oh, you know what? I did 3.5. Oops. I was like, it doesn't look. Okay. Pay attention. I think I was looking at the wrong number on here. So we want 3. Okay, so we might turn it. Oh, see, I did it again. I held it in the wrong spot, and then I got a little. That's fine. Okay. So again, you're gonna hold on the plastic. On the plastic. There we go. That was much better. Okay, so that is better now that I got the right measurement. It's like, okay, that looks better. And then for matting that, I think, put that out of the way. I also have the Serene Waters mats that I could also kind of play with. And I do love these because mats are really great for titles. They're really great for matting your photos, obviously. So I like to take a stroll through my mats. I pulled out all the ones that are, you know, nautical or sea or whatever, and I have some older ones mixed in here. The orange is kind of cool too, but I don't know. Do you know if that's too much orange over there? My goal with this page was just to have like orange poking out, not so much orange that it, you know, looked overly saturated. I wanted to focus more on the blues and then have the pops of orange was kind of my thoughts, but we will see. This thing is, this is very blue too. So this color, like, I don't hate it because it kind of ties with that. I might just use that. Or I have this watery look that would match. I'll see, but then the blue gets lost. Yeah, the green might be my best bet there. I don't want too much orange on one side, if you know what I'm saying. It's just all about trying different things. See, I don't know. That kind of gets lost in the background too, though. So far, I like that one the best. Just all about going through and seeing what you have. I like to use my stash, so all these mats have had kind of sitting around. I'm kind of looking too if like any of them stand out to me as a title. Although sometimes I like, for Disney especially, I do use my Cricut more. I don't use my Cricut very often, but for my Disney albums, I tend to use them more because I like to have, you know, the fun little Finding Nemo font and those kind of titles. So I might, when I go off, I will cut out a title and add that. It's so funny because I have a Cricut and I don't use it very often, but when I do use it, it's usually when I'm working on Disney. So it's the same thing, but not quite big enough. I think I'm just going to go with that green. I think that's a good way to tie it all together. Okay, just making sure. I could go ahead and trim this up too. Yeah, I think I want something different there though, just to mix it up. Alright, so now I have to discern. I don't even know if I need to trim this thing. It's kind of already to size, I would say. Let's see. Kind of looking them over. Don't know if I want to center this more. I think I will do something like that and maybe add some embellishment or something here. That's probably what I'm going to do with that. I also like to mix up my borders. I'm kind of weird. See how they're like the same way? Sometimes I'll flip them. That way they go different ways. So this little guy, you know, this little starfish is on opposite sides and they're upside down. So I'm kind of funny like that. I like to mix it up. Alright, I think I'll go ahead and glue those down. Let's start with putting this guy on here. And again, I cannot line things up, so this should be interesting. I do like that it was already pretty much cut to size for me though. That was very convenient. Oh goodness. Okay. could be, you know, using my mat to figure that out, but I'm too lazy, so I'm like, it looks good. Apparently I'd use one of these as journal boxes for something. Okay. We have it kind of up here, and I know I want to add this. It is going to cover my border, and that's fine because peekaboo pockets are meant to kind of sit on top of things. I could, you know, set it up further. I think I'll go with that. And again, this will go on my page protector, not my page. So once it's all done, I will stick that on there. All right. I want that offsetting a little bit. Alright, and for my borders, I'm going to use my repositional tape runner. See, I love this green side too. It just kind of gets lost. And I want the orange pop. So, on my silicone mats, and I love repositional tape runner for things like this because all these little stars, you know, when you use this guy, you have the bigger ones and it's harder to hide. So I like the repositional for things like this because you can just go boop, and it only sticks to the border. Pretty nifty. Just trying to decide if I want this. I want them even. So I think I'm gonna do that. Except it's crooked. Alright. Good enough for me. I'm gonna stick these down too. Sorry if you can hear my dog out there. My cat is out there tormenting her. She's on her chain right now because she's a beagle. She'll run. So we have to chain her up when she's outside, unfortunately, because the neighbors a mile away will call us and say, hey, Molly's here. I'm like, of course she is. So I put her out because, you know, it's a lovely day and she can be out. But my cat's out there annoying her, and it's kind of funny because they like to play. My cat will let her play with them. My girl cat, not so much. She's like, leave me alone. But if you hear her out there barking, I apologize. I was going to open my window, but that's part of the reason I didn't, because I was afraid she'd be too loud out there. Okay. Oops. A Sabita repositional, you can pick it up and try again. And repositional does go permanent. I would say, like, I tried to pull something off a week after, it was on there good, so at least a week after it is permanent. It actually tore my page because it was so permanent. So it does get permanent. I have a lot of people concerned about that. You know, repositional might not be permanent after all. It does. It really does. So I am a testimony of that. Okay. Now that everything's glued down, I think I'm going to do my little fish. And I'm trying to decide. Have my dark sea green, and I think I'm going to do them on that and kind of put them in the corner because I don't want them to pop like too much, but I want them different. So debating what color. I think I like the dark sea green because it's different enough, but it's also still cohesive enough, if you know what I'm saying. So okay, I'm going to push this back a little bit, and I think one strip of these will do, because you're going to cut them up and kind of, I'm going to cut them up and put them in a corner. And like I said, this isn't on the original sketch. Sorry if things shake on my camera. But the example that the other advisor had made in the blog, you'll see she used the garland punch in the corner. And I like the look of that. It kind of fills that space a little bit. So I was like, I'm going to use a fish. I think that'd be kind of cute if they're swimming, you know, around in the corner there. Oops, lost where it was there. There we go. Did I really go far? Oh, there we go. I got lost for a second. We're good. Too many fish in the school there. Yeah, the Nemo ride was the first one we ever rode. The first trip we went to Disney. We've been to Disney twice now as a family. I went once as a kid as well, but Mark and Lucy had never been. And the first time we ever went, Nemo was our walk. Like, that's the first ride we did in Epcot because we weren't into the whole, you know, rope dropping strategy and all that. I didn't really know much about that. Now I know, you know, you don't rope drop Nemo, you go somewhere else. But it was kind of a great way to ease Lucy in. She was 7 at the time. And so she was a little like, I'm sure about rides. And that was our first ride, and we were all delighted by it. It's so funny because Disney is so like elaborate. And then we rode Nemo, and we're like, oh, that was so wonderful. And then we rode, you know, Remy, and we're like, what? Like, so it's just super funny. And then this trip, our first ride was actually Guardians, because we didn't know what to expect. And I got a Group 1 Guardians. And so we walked into Epcot, that was our first day, and we went straight to Guardians, and I had no idea how intense that ride was. And Lucy, like, she was like done. She's like, nope, I hate this. I don't want to ride anything ever again. I, you know, hate all rides. In fact, I have the picture right here of her face. I don't know where my camera is. There we go. And as you can see, she's just like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh my word. So she was like laying over it. I thought she'd passed out, and it freaked me out the whole ride. She hated it. She really did hate it. I loved it. And Mark was like, yeah, it was okay. So the next ride we went on after that was like, let's go to Nemo. We're going to go to Nemo. It's going to be fine. And so that's, you know, that day. So things obviously settled down, and she was fine, and she enjoyed Disney again. But oh my goodness, it was a hoot. And she was like over it. You know, she was not a fan after Guardians. So Nemo was a good way for us to calm down. Super funny, and I was just, you know, shocked I got Group 1 even for Guardians, and I was like, oh, you know, we'll do that middle of the day, you know, we'll ease in, and no, I got a Group 1, go figure. So, if you don't know how Disney works, you know, you get on early in the morning, and you have to get a virtual queue for the newer rides, and most people, you know, end up, you know, later afternoon, and I got the first thing in the morning, on a whim, you know, so, kind of funny. I am going to cut these apart and like turn some to go the other way as well. I'm just trying to decide how far I want to cut them. I think I'm going to cut them at their tails. Like that. And then you can kind of fit them in. And then I'm going to turn these ones this way. I kind of want them sporadic. You know, I don't want them like in such a straight line. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be so cute. But at the same time, I want to be able to fit, so... And I will trim, you know, off anything overhanging, so yeah, maybe I do want them in a straight line. Something like that. It'll kind of add something to that corner, I think. Cool. Alright, so now I'm going to get my silicone mat back out. I'm not sure about this one. Just because that guy's tail was hanging off there. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I like them more like that. I like them not so uniform, which is funny to say because fish tend to be a little uniform. But I'm not really a straight in the line kind of girl, you know what I mean? I don't know, like the banners in the example were kind of sporadic, but you know, we'll stick it down. It'll be fine. I'm not going to stress out about it too much, I just kind of want it on there. So. Wherever it lands, it's fine. I do like the fish in the corner. I think that adds a really cute touch to this page. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is grab my page, I'm going to turn it over, and you'll see the excess in the back. My stickers are super sticky because this is what I do every time. And you're just going to kind of cut it. If you're doing this step, you might not be doing this on your page. Nothing else, hopefully, you're just learning something. Or enjoying the process with me, either way. That's the beauty of these challenge hour lives, is we can just kind of hang out and scrapbook, or you can, you know, check out what I'm doing and be like, oh, I have an idea now for that challenge, and hopefully you can post your challenge and get in on a prize, you know. So once you like get your pages done each week, there's a post in my Ashley Scrappy VIPs. You want to make sure you take a picture of your layout. So like if I were done with this, I would kind of push it together, take a picture, and upload it to the comments of that challenge post in the Ashley Scrappy VIPs. And then Friday morning, you have to have that posted by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. And then Friday morning, I draw a name from who shared. So I don't judge them or anything. I just put everybody's name in a drawing on the wheel, spin the wheel randomly, and boom, that's the winner. So nothing too elaborate. All right, I like the fish. I think that's cute. So now we're gonna embellish a little bit. I pre-picked out some embellishments that would go with this. And a lot of times, like, I'm getting better and better at embellishment clusters, but I like to look at the sketch and be like, oh, they put some there and there. And I'll even go back on the example and just see what they did. Just double checking comments again. Perfect. Okay. And I am going to check out that example and just see, maybe I'll show you guys too, of what this person did. I don't know if I can make it bigger or not, but like this is the one I was referring to. Like, she used the banners. Her name's Renee. She's a fellow advisor. She used the banners kind of in that corner there, which is why I put the fish there. And then I'm like, oh, she put embellishments there. She also journaled. I don't know if I need much journaling on here. I might do it on the bottom or something if I do it, because that's where my, you know, peekaboo packet's gonna go. Some embellishment up here. I might put my title up there. Again, I'm probably gonna Cricut cut that out. So yeah, I'm just gonna put some random little embellishments around to kind of fill, you know, the gaps. Keeping in mind, I need to put Dory here. So, and a lot of times I'll lay down what I'm doing. That way I know where not to, you know, stick things. Okay, so I love the clownfish, obviously, because duh, Nemo. So it's hard to do this without knowing where my title's gonna go, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put, I don't know. I think in my last Disney album I put like Fish Are Friends or something like that. So maybe I'll just put like Finding Nemo or I don't know, something. We'll figure it out. So I want to make sure I put these in places where it's not going to affect too much. So in terms of the title, I could even like, it'd be really cute to stick a Nemo up there. I have a littler one. I say a Nemo, a clownfish. Could put him up there in a fish. It'd be kind of cute. See, I feel like he gets lost there a little bit. So I don't know if I want that there. I like the seaweed though. So when it comes to embellishments, I just kind of lay them out and see how they look. Like right here we have Crush in this picture. It's probably really hard to see in your view, but I could fill this space with the sea turtles I have. I have a couple different colors. There's also these little bubbles which are super cute, so I might like, you know, put some of these wherever. We'll see where they fit. Maybe right there. And like I said, I have tons of fish. Of course they're orange, so they're going to blend in with that a little bit. Maybe if I put one up here or something. I don't know. I'll play around. Again, I like these bubbles a lot, so I might work those around the title or something. I also have another one of these, which matches pretty well with that. So, probably put something up here. I don't know. It's orange on orange, but you can kind of decide what works for you in your theme and all that stuff. I have some more seaweed I can put. I also have a blackfish. It might work better. So yeah, I have some pretty good embellishments here I can use for this layout. It's just a matter of figuring out where to put them. And I usually don't make you guys hang out online live with me while I do that, just because in my head it's kind of this long process, so you don't have to watch it. You know how embellishments work. I also have these fun, these came with the Serene Waters embellishments. The octopus reminded me of Hank over here. So I'll probably stick him in a few places maybe. So yeah, with that, I think I am going to sign off. And then you guys can go ahead and share what you do. make sure you post it in the challenge post in my Ashley Scrappy VIP group. That way you have a shot at the drawing. Like I said, you'll win a little something if you're drawn, and it just helps you get pages done. Like right here, I almost have 2 pages done. So I got my first 2 of October. It's great. So I'll go ahead and put that on my sheet when I'm done, but I'll make sure to share a picture of my layout once it is finished, and so you can see it. But thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching. If you guys need anything, always holler. You can comment too. But if you can't find the post, holler at me as well, and I will direct you there. So I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will show you my page later. Have a great day.